Hello everyone, this is A30 back again with another How to Play. Today we're looking at how to play the game of Scout, which is by Oink Games, and it's for 2 to 5 players, ages 9 and up. It's a nice little box, and it comes packed with stuff, as you can see over here. This is a little ladder climbing, trick-taking game. You get a deck of cards. Each card is indicated with a 1 on the back, which I believe is a point. Well, it could be. And you can see the cards have all sorts of different colors. Reds, yellows, blues, greens, oranges. And values between 1 and 10. And they're double-sided, so you get one side and the other. And that comes into play in the game. I'll try to shuffle these up a little bit because they are not so shuffled. And in this game, it's a ladder climbing, trick-taking game. You are the leader of a circus, and you are trying to scout out the best, pieces for that circus, the best cards. You get 45 cards. You get 23 of these scout chips. You get 30 of these different scoring tokens, double-sided. One side's positive, and the excuse me, one side's positive and the other side's negative. And you also get a starting player marker, and you get some of these starter playing. Some of these 5 of these scout and soul chips, which we'll explain here momentarily. I'll set up a little free play game. I'm not going to worry about the start player token. So you'll decide on a starting player and give them the marker. You say that I'm the starting player. And you'll set up a game, giving each person one of these chips. And you place the rest kind of in the center of the table. And then you're going to deal out the cards. For 3 players, it's going to be 12 each. For 4 players, 11. 5 players is 9. And so we'll do that. Those 12 cards. Just give me 1 second here. The rest are going to go away. There will be extras more than likely. The important thing about this is when you have your hand of cards, obviously you're going to keep it to yourself. You cannot change the order. So you have to keep them in this order. The interesting thing is, of course, it's double-sided. So I can choose this side. And, I mean, maybe eventually I can get these 2 6s together. Or I can get other things together. Or you can flip it. And I'm looking at the other side here. You can do this. You can flip it and use the other side. And maybe we do that. Now, you can only do this at the start of the game. And then you are locked in. You cannot change the order. With one exception we'll get to. Each other player is going to do the same thing. And there's 3 things you could do in your turn. 1, you could sow, which is where you play a set of cards from your hand. They must be either a single card, a pair, like these 2 2s, if I can get them together, which I can do by playing some of these cards out. Or you can play a run. I believe it has to be 3 or more. And it has to be, you have to play something higher than your opponent's. So let's say, I mean, you're the first player, you don't have to do that. Now, I cannot play these 2 4s because they're separated. But maybe I'll play this 5 so that now the 4s are together. You cannot switch the cards in your hand, but you can play from anywhere. You just have to play cards that are consecutive if you're playing multiple cards. So now I can play the 2 4s because they are together. They also have names on them for some reason. Like this is Rebecca. So now this guy's going to go. He's got his hand ready to go. He has to play something that is higher, or he can do a different action. So maybe he plays these 2 7s. And this guy's going to go. And he's looking at his hand here. Now, let's look at, importantly, what or things you can actually play. Because there's some sets that are stronger than others. So you cannot play, like I played the one, playing a pair is good. This player now must play a pair or 3 cards. You have to be more cards or more value. You cannot play something with less cards. As explained on here. And also the type of set. A pair will beat a run of 2. A run of 2 of a higher value, or a pair of a higher value, would be a lower valued one. So for instance, if I played just say I played a 4-5, a 5-6 would beat that, but a 3-4 would not, as examples. Now, let's say I get to this guy. He cannot play, maybe he can't play something higher because he doesn't have a higher set, as an example. So now he has other options. This is obviously showing. You can probably place these face down. You can also scout. Scouting is where a player takes a card from the active set. And if there's more than one, you can take either card. And then you can place it anywhere in your hand and flip it around if you want. So maybe this guy can't beat that or doesn't want to beat that. He will scout. And so he's going to take that 7 and which one does he want? Maybe he takes this 7 and he places it here as a pair of 8s. And this could be an 8, 9, 10, so that's good. And then now he can play a card. If he can beat that, he can play a set. So maybe now he will play, maybe now he'll play that pair of 8s. Now, the other thing you can do on your turn, and as I mentioned, this guy scouted this guy's card. He took his card. So now he gets one of these tokens. It's a point for the end of the game. And he's just going to take that from the middle. So you're going to collect that. Whenever somebody takes your card, you're going to collect one of those chips, those tokens. And now it comes to me. And I'm going to look at my hand here. I don't have anything I can do. So there's another thing you can do, and that is you can scout and show. And that's kind of what he did, actually. I think that's what he did inadvertently, which is wrong. Yeah, no. So, theoretically, he's not supposed to play this. It comes to me. I'll explain that in a bit. It would come to me, his turn would be over, so you can either show by playing a card, scout, which he did by taking a card from the active set, which would be this one. This one is no longer active, as long as this one is active. And or you can scout and show. And what that means is, let's say it comes to me and I don't have anything, that I want to play or that I can't play, I can scout and show. What I'm going to do is, you can only do this once on your turn. You take this token, flip it face down, and now I can take this card, and now I can immediately, place it wherever, and I can immediately play it. That is the scout. That's what I inadvertently did over here, is a scout and show. So again, you can scout, which is by playing a card. You can show. You can show a card or cards by playing them. You can scout by taking cards from an active set, or you can show and scout, which is where, or scout and show, which is where you take a card and then immediately play one, but you can only do that once per round. So you're going to continue around the table until somebody's played out all the cards, and then you're going to look at the score. So whenever somebody runs out of cards after a show, or if nobody else can play after a show, let's say I played this and nobody else can play, that ends the round. You don't want to end the round with too many cards in your hand, because those will be negative points, or could be negative points. But let's just say I played out all my cards, and the game ended, the round ended. So let's look at the scoring. So let's say I collected a bunch of cards. Let's say I collected these cards. 8 cards. You're going to collect cards after you win them, after each kind of trick. And that is worth 1 point each, plus the scout chip. I don't have it. Let's say I had a scout chip or 2. That's going to be worth 1 point each, plus these. So I would get 5, 6, 7, 8 those cards. And these other players, let's say they had, a bunch of cards left over, a few cards left over, they're going to get negative points. So this guy's got 3, 6, negative 6 he's going to get. But he does have this, so I guess actually it's more like negative 5. And this guy's got 4, so negative 4, essentially. And you're going to play, I believe, 3 rounds. You're going to play as many rounds as there are players. So 3 players, you're going to play 3 rounds. 5 players, you're going to play 5 rounds. And these are actually going to go to here, and I'm actually going to collect those points. So I'm just going to take a 10 instead. So I got 10 points. This guy has negative 5, negative 4. Yeah, you're going to do that. You're going to deal out again. Each player's going to get a chance to start. It's a pretty interesting game where you're not allowed to change the cards in your hand unless you collect cards, and then you can put that wherever you want. And you have to play sets, so you can play a single card. Again, you can play a run of 2 or 3 or more. You can play a set of cards, 2 cards, a pair, a triple, 4 of a kind. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I like it. That's Scout. Hopefully I covered everything more or less. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.